Welcome home to USA Global TV and Radio, a place where dreams take flight, with authentic storytelling, diverse perspectives and meaningful conversations, where global stories unite and bridges are built beyond all borders. Discover world-class education, entertainment, hope and inspiration. Together, we're building bridges worldwide. Subscribe to our channel, USA Global TV. Download our app, USA Global TV. Be our guest or join our team. Visit usaglobaltv.com. Thanks to our founder and executive producer, Dr. Jacalyn-Kerbeck. Music score by Yeffy Tang from Cloud Road Music. Voiceover artist Mike Porter. Creative direction by Paul Garcia. USA Global TV and Radio. Your home for global connection. All rights reserved. This video and its contents are the exclusive property of USA Global TV and Radio. Unauthorized use, duplication or redistribution in any form is strictly prohibited.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome home to USA Global TV and Radio, where we proudly provide world-class education, entertainment, hope, and inspiration. I'm Dr. Jacalyn-Kerbeck, and our show is the Mallorca Connection. And this is one of our shows that we've had since the very beginning. The star of our show is here. He's actually in Europe. He's not here, but he will be here with us. His name is Roland-Friedl, and he is a Mantrepreneur. He's a serial entrepreneur. He's an author. He is someone who has worked with men all across the world to help them get in touch with their feelings. He's also a father, and he is a dog owner. Let's welcome him to the program. Hello, hello.
Hello, Jacalyn. Hello, great to see you, and hello to our audience. Hello, wherever you're joining us.
Yes, hello, everyone. It's good to have you here. And occasionally I like to have you just share with our audience how the name was derived for this show, the Mallorca Connection, because you're not in or on Mallorca right now, are you?
No, I'm not. But when we started, I guess 3.5 years ago, something like that, almost 4 years ago, when I started with USA Global TV, we've been looking about a show name, and I get the challenge was that I have experience in many fields because I'm so curious to learn, get to know about things. So I said I don't want to talk about a certain topic. I want to be more broader. And at the time I've been living in Mallorca. Actually, I've been living there for 14 years, from 2008 to 2022. So that's why we call it the Mallorca Connection, because this was my home for 14 years, this beautiful island in Spain. Yeah. And still is beautiful, but I'm not living there. I left it over 3 years ago.
Would you go back?
Not for living. No, not for living. I have to go back because I have a lot of stuff there, furniture, motorbikes, a lot of stuff is there. I have to go back one day because I'm still paying a rent for the warehouse. I have to go back, but not for living. No.
You know what's interesting with what you just shared, because I've moved, I think, since 1999, 26 times. And this weekend, I was packing up some things that are no longer needed. And it seems like I'm always packing stuff. And the point is that you have a storage unit, and I've had storage units many times over the years, and you get used to the fact that you don't need all that stuff. It's amazing. And then we're paying for stuff. We're donating stuff. I have 5 bags of stuff downstairs that I have to figure out what to do with there. It's all clothing and beautiful dresses, Nicole Miller and all the, I don't need them. I don't want them. So I love the fact that we can downsize, but at some point we felt like we needed all that stuff. So you've been gone for 3 years now and you don't need this stuff. Right? Maybe one day you'll have a different lifestyle, but I think that's interesting because today's topic is from vision to reality, grounding your dreams into action. And I feel that many times people don't actually achieve their dreams because they're so weighted down with stuff, whether it's feelings or guilt, or emotional baggage, or real stuff, relationships.
Yeah. Most people have a huge backpack. Yeah. And most of them are not really aware of it. Yeah, absolutely. Well, for me, it was really a change almost a little bit more than 3 years ago, from going from a huge house, 10 bedrooms, 12 bathrooms, a huge property, to a motorhome. It was a tremendous change. For me, it was really good. It was many reasons. My relationship at the time fell apart to be honest, business was going down at the part because, we have this pandemic. So the business was going down. And then I said, oh, why the heck I'm staying in this huge house? I had 14 amazing years. This was really cool. I already had this motorhome just for vacation. So, and I was always dreaming a little bit, as most people, you dream of something. You buy magazines or reading books or be on YouTube or something like that. And you follow people who live a lifestyle that you would love to have too. So I was the same, I was some wind lifers who travel around Europe or in the US or wherever in their motorhome. That's pretty cool. And I never did it. And the last 2 years from 2020 to 22, I always said, I keep the house because my girlfriend at the time loves it. But to be honest, I'm a little bit afraid to make this radical shift from a little house to a motorhome. But in the 1st of April in 2022, I made the shift, and for me it was really cool because I had to get rid of all my one car is still left, but I got rid of all my cars and everything, and I rented a huge storage. I used for all this furniture for the many rooms, and also for the pool furniture and garden furniture and terrace furniture. I'm still paying a hell of money to store my stuff. But for me, it was a tremendous change, and I was a little bit afraid in the beginning, to be honest. First of all, to be single. I was the first time in my life I was single, because I was always in relationships since I'm 15 years old. Can you imagine? So 3 years ago I was 60. No, sorry, I'm 60 now. So I was 57. So it was 42 years, always in a relationship, always long-lasting relationship. The first time I was by myself, and then I gave up the house, I gave up my home, and I was traveling in my motor for a year. It was scary in the beginning, but every day, it's like everything. You do small steps, and every day you get more used to it, you get more experience, you love it more. And the other thing is, I found out I had a lot of time because a huge house can really consume you. And I had the feeling that the last years, I didn't own the house owned me. There was a lot of stuff always to look and take care of, maintenance and stuff like that. So I really felt free on the road. I still do. I love it. And I had much more time for myself, and I missed a very few things. Some of my friends said, "Why are you paying a hell of money for the storage over 3 years, still having the stuff?" But first of all, I have expensive furniture. Really are by well-known designers. I don't have cheap furniture, so I have good furniture, stuff like that. I miss some stuff, but not all of them. But cross my fingers, my girlfriend, she found a beautiful house. So in 2 weeks, when I'm back in Belgium, we're going to see it together. And hopefully we can get it. It's a huge house in a huge garden. It's beautiful. It's not furnished. So I will bring all my furniture. So it still has a reason why I still keep this stuff. Finally, but this was always my thought. I will settle down one day again, and then I will need the stuff. So I still have it, yeah. But to be honest, the last 3 years, it was really cool without all the stuff. It was really a nice one. But to be honest, my motorhome is quite large, and I still have a lot of stuff in my motorhome. Just too much stuff. Yeah, the larger it is, the more space you have to store.
It's true. It's very true. Excuse me. So what was your thought process when you selected this topic for today?
The thing is that I met a lot of people in my life before, but also on the road. They said, "Ed, that's pretty cool what you're doing. I'm dreaming about this, living in a motorhome, living on a sailing boat, or starting my own business, quitting my job, doing something different, or moving to a different country, or whatever." So people are always dreaming. They're talking. And my question is always, why don't you do it? And then you hear a lot of stuff. And I strongly believe a lot of excuses. People are so afraid to do the first step. And so I thought, okay, let's talk about from vision to reality, because that's all my life since I'm a teenager. I always had a kind of vision, a kind of goal. And I was always very curious and very focused to reach this goal, and then set the next goal and reach the next goal. And I love the life I'm doing, and I know most people from the sideline, they look at me and I said, "Wow, it's cool what I'm doing." But I was never a brave guy in the beginning. But with all this experience, when you always expand your comfort zone, you get more used to it. You get more clarity. You get more security, and you get more what people think is being brave. But being brave is nothing else than being fucking scared, but doing the first step anyway. That's what it is. And I want to talk a little bit about how you can bring your vision to reality, especially on a business perspective.
Absolutely. And fear is the one thing that keeps a lot of people from moving forward. Can you talk to us about how people can overcome fears?
Well, it's not about overcoming. Overcoming it. First of all, it's not pressing it away. It's about accepting it. And the fear is an emotion that gives you feedback. Be cautious. Be cautious. You're entering a new territory or whatever. Yeah? It's nothing bad. Fear is nothing bad. It gives you feedback. And I also fear I have something I fear of. I'm scared when I try new things out. Does it really work? Will it work? Will I like it or whatever? I still have it, and I guess everyone has it. But I can overcome it very, very fast. I said, okay, it's here. Thank you. Meaning first of all, I recognize it, I acknowledge you, said thank you, but I don't need you. I tried the first step. I tried the second step. When it's working, I try the third step, and the fourth step, if it's not working, I do something different. So I overcome fear by just doing the first step. I want to find out, is the fear, the anxiety I have, is it real or not? And I'm 60 now, all my fears have never came to reality. They're not really, just in my mind. So I talked to my mind and said, okay, thank you, but stay quiet. I do my first step. I have a look. If the water is deep or cold or whatever, I try. And then I go into the water. When it's deep, I swim. If it's too cold, I swim faster or whatever. So it's not about suppressing fear. It's about acknowledging fear and then doing anyway the first step. And if it's too much or too overwhelming, I guess it could be helpful, maybe we talk later about it, to find somebody on your side, a mentor or a coach that helps you.
Yes, exactly. I agree with you. How would you relate fear and taking risks?
I mean, I was always taking risk, but as an entrepreneur, especially, you invest money and you never know it's working or not. Of course, you think it's working because otherwise you wouldn't do it. Yeah, you have a vision, you have a mission, you have a strategy, you have an action plan, and you do your best. But sometimes bad thing happens, and then you lose money or whatever. Yeah, it's part of the game. Actually, it's part of the game. And for me, it's not failure. It's okay. It's a way it doesn't work. I try something different. So the older I become, I'm risking less money in the beginning. When I was young, I said, I'm never going to die. I'm successful. I'm a hero. All in. I was always all in. All in. I don't do this anymore. I'm not going all in anymore with the money. I invest in some new stuff, of course, when I believe in it, but I'm not on high risk anymore, like in my young ages. I wouldn't suggest that. But there's always a risk. But I think, for me, it maybe sounds crazy, but for me, it would be much more risky not to do it, to regret it. And to be honest, man, ladies and gentlemen, I don't want to piss you off, but I am not a 9-to-5 guy to go to an office every day, same city, same colleagues, same work, spending the weekends with the same friends, same family, spending the same vacation. I'm not the guy at all. This is not my life. It's working for a lot of people for any reason. I'm not judging that, but that's not me. For me, it's risk. For me, it's highly risky to live a 9-to-5 job and a 9-to-5 life. That's for me highly risky because it would be boring. For me, maybe I'm not that healthy, not that fit, not positive, not motivated. I don't know. It's not mine. It's not mine.
Because you're curious. You want to explore the world and meet new people, and that is something that drives you, I believe.
Yeah, but it means that sometimes I guess we had this conversation years ago. When I moved to Momotum, how is it? I said, their taste most days a little like, wow, cool. Some days I said, yeah, good, it's okay. And some days, oh shit, that's life. It's not always 24/7 sunshine. That's part of the game, and we have to acknowledge this. And same like not everyone is successful every day. Not everyone is happy every day. It's part of the game. But what we try our best, and I think, and I strongly believe, and I want to encourage people, whatever dream you have, do it. Do it. I don't believe when you check out from planet Earth, and on your last day, that you regret what you've done. I think you will regret what you've most done. And I have some friends who are working with people who in the palliative medicine, or in special residences where people are going to die, and they support them the last days and weeks, and they all tell me people only regret what they never tried out because they have been scared. And so, please, life is an amazing an amazing journey, and you can really do everything you want. Just try it out. Just do it. Why not? But most people are scared, and I think most people. I don't know what you experience, like Jacalyn, but most people are more scared what other people think what they're doing, if they fail or not, than enjoying their own life. And it might sound a little bit rude what I'm saying now, but I always give a fuck what other people think about me. I'm not meaning being an egoist, but it's my decision. I'm not asking anyone about money or whatever. It's my decision. It's my responsibility. If I fail, it's me. It's nobody else's fault, and I think that's very, very important. When you really want to start something or do something different, the first thing is taking responsibility. That's the most, not blaming other people or circumstances or event. It's about you. You make a decision, go for it. It's not working, do something different. It's working, do more of it. It's not working, do something different. Taking responsibility. But most people don't have responsibility. And I think that's why they don't start. And that's why some of them who start fail.
Very true. All excellent points. And what I want to share in reference to that is, I've had a few dreams that were brought to me by other people, believe it or not. They planted the seed, and then it became a dream for me. And Dr. Chan, Madeline, is the one who told me that we would be getting the Silver Creator Award. I didn't even know what it was. So I looked it up and I thought, wow, we're at 30-some thousand. How are we going to get to 100,000? And so I just invested in search engine optimization team, and also we have more shows, and I started doing a lot more admin on the back end of the YouTube channel, and lo and behold, there it was. And we were just a few thousand away from getting it. And then there were copyright issues. And I thought to myself, I was getting myself really emotionally upset. And I said to myself, find the solution, contact the people who put the copyright claim in and find out why they did it. And then what can we do to have it taken care of? So that was one thing. Another thing, Dr. Chan, again, she said to me, and I'm just going to say this out loud because she said to me, one day you will win the Nobel Peace Prize. And I said to her, that is really out there. And she said she's an intuitive. She gets the download message and she shares it. So she sent over the criteria. And I looked at it and I said, hello, I'm not a peace ambassador. And she said, you will be. And now I am. I am a peace ambassador. And I'm going to this conference, and I'm meeting, when I'm traveling through Europe, I'm going to be meeting other peace ambassadors. So the point is, you can have a dream, but you actually have to do something to make it happen. And then there will be things that test you along the way. And how much you want that dream shows how you're going to handle those tests. Do you become an emotional wreck? Do you start making excuses, or do you look for the solution? And that's what I really try to do, is look for the solution.
Absolutely. First of all, congratulations.
Thank you.
And secondly, yes, it's possible. And to be honest, it was, since I was a young boy, I remember I was 6 years old, 5.5. I was the first time I saw the sea in Italy. And I came back home to my parents. And I told my parents, wow, it was amazing, like a small kid, And then one day I'm moving to the seaside. And my dad said, yeah, everyone else, but not you. Because my father, everything was pushing me down. But I never forgot it, And then I was 45, then I moved to this island. It was driving me all the time. And I guess it's also important that it doesn't matter when it's time to make it reality, but we have to. And some things take longer. Another example, I was always a dream of mine becoming a writer. And I always thought I'm not good enough. And then you planted a seed, Dr. Jacalyn, because you invited me to join with my story some of your books. And I was looking at, oh yes, this was a dream many years ago. Many years ago. Why not now? And now my first book in German is going to be published in October. And by the way, interesting story. I hired a book agent in Austria. And the first publishing house said yes to the book. It was in October last year. I'll never forget this. I met this publishing house, actually the owner. We had a long conversation. Yeah, let's do it. We do it. And then I moved to Sicily, spent the winter there. And I was thinking about, okay, maybe I can write, or maybe I can do the contract with the publishing house online. And the guy said, no, when you're back from Sicily, we meet in person. You sign the contract and we go for dinner, have a couple of drinks, stuff like that. And a week before the date was coming, I called the guy, and he was just texting me WhatsApp. I'm not doing the book. I'm not publishing it. All the details has the agent. Boom, bang. I said, oh my gosh. 6 months ago, he told me yes. So I was a little bit pissed off because in 6 months I could look for another publishing house. So anyway, so I tried to get the book agent, but he was not very present because he has some health issues. But he sent me the email. He forwarded me the email from the publishing house, and I was reading it. And I said, oh my gosh, that has nothing to do with me. And my girlfriend was reading it. And I have to really honor my girlfriend because she is always in a very high frequency. And I learned a lot from her too. And she said, you wanted to publish there? I said, yes, call the guy. So I called the guy and he still said no, but he said, let's meet. But we didn't meet. Then he called me, can we meet? And then we met 1.5 weeks ago for breakfast. And we could clear everything. And he said, yeah, we're going to do it. And actually last Saturday, 2 days ago, we spent 7 hours together. We went archery, barbecuing. And on Friday, I'm at the publishing house. We're working on a book, on the cover, stuff like that. So what I say is something, you have a dream, you go for it. You get a yes, this emotions. You have a dream like this, and I said, no, I'm not good enough. Emotions down. Then, okay, I start my first book. And it's cool. It's good. Emotions up. And then emotions down. And then you find a publishing house. Then, wow, cool, up. And then 6 months later, say, no, we don't do it. My emotions down, bang. And then you meet the guy and emotions go up. It's a roller coaster. And I guess most people give up after the first to second, at the latest at the third, when they go down. And I'm a person I'll never give up. And I have to honor my girlfriend because she said, no, go for it. Stay in a positive frequency, manifest it, and do it. And now it's happening. So I think it's so important that you really have a clear vision, a clear goal. And it's not nothing that is nice to have because a friend of mine has it, a neighbor has it, or a celebrity or influencer has it. It's because it's mine. I go for it and I pay the price for it and I do everything for it. You have a clear vision, and then you have an action plan, and then you go for it and you don't give up. And just one point, Dr. Jacalyn. I had a coaching client yesterday because he missed our session on Friday. So he asked me if I'm available on Sunday. I said, Sunday night, I have time for you. And it was, he's starting a business, or he started a business, and I mentor him for 6 months. So he's 6 months, my clients, 1 hour a week. We have a call, and he's going to continue because his business is quite growing with my support. And we talked yesterday. We talked about discipline. I said, Roland, I try to be disciplined. I'm working hard every day, Monday to Sunday. I'm working hard, but I'm so exhausted. And I said to him, you know what? You misunderstand discipline. Discipline doesn't mean you work like hell 20 hours, 7 days, and you have a burnout. Discipline means you do it because it has to be done, but it also means never giving up. And meaning when you're exhausted, instead of giving up, you make a break. A 5-minute break, breathing, getting out fresh air, having a coffee, or maybe a half an hour break, doesn't matter. But discipline means not giving up, but it does not mean not having a break. And I think this is so important that people do too much. They're very, very motivated by what you're doing. And then they work like crazy and it's not working in the beginning. And then when you do too much and you're not recovering, what is very, very important, then you make a lot of mistakes, then you don't see the light at the end of the tunnel, meaning you're just so focused, you don't see the whole picture. So it's also important to make breaks in between, small breaks, and that's part of discipline. Having also be disciplined to make breaks, and then you don't give up because you recover and then you go back. That's what I just want to mention.
Absolutely. And congratulations on your book. That's super exciting. I knew it was going to happen because I know how you are and you'd make it happen. So
yeah, you're my hero. I guess you published 16 books. Yes, I know. But to be honest, I finished 5 books, so I bring the first book on the market and then step by step. Yeah.
yes.
But it's very exciting for me. Absolutely. It's a childhood dream to publish my own book. Yeah.
It is. It's a very special feeling. And I had shared this, I think, when you interviewed me last week, possibly, but I just wanted to just say in brevity about it. So the last book that I published was actually my 17th, and it's Broadcasting Brilliance, about the network. And you have so much time once the book is published to get it to that Amazon #1 new release or Amazon #1 bestseller. And every hour it changes. So you have to actually be on Amazon to see the little banner that comes up that has that on there. And so Red and I worked together and actually published it. I want to say it was on Friday a week ago. And by Friday night, it hadn't hit the #1. And I was starting to get really angry because I thought to myself, I am someone who, like, I want that banner on there. Okay, that's what I want. Then I want to have the book republished with the banner on there. So I said to myself, you're getting emotional and that's not going to do anything. You know how to do book marketing, because I've hired people over the years. We've interviewed people. We have a lot of really talented people who come to this network, and I listen to what people are saying. I make a mental note of it, and then I go and try to figure it out myself. So I knew what I could do. I knew what I had in my power that I could do, and I did it. And it was at 3:39 in the morning that the banner came up, and it was a top new release. And I actually was lying in bed. I kept going to Amazon, refresh. And I was like, yes, there it is. And by 9 o'clock the next morning, it was #1 new release. But that's because I put the work in, and also because people saw the ads. So if you get it out there, like, people will say to me, oh, I'm on social media. I market my business on social media. And I said, okay, tell me what your account is. Let me look. So I go and I look. I see one ad that's totally about them with no call to action, no value for the clients. And I said, so you're hoping that this one ad is going to be seen by how many people, that it's a giant funnel and it's going to come through? I said, you have to be posting every hour, every day. You need to get on as many platforms as you can. And what I'll share, and then I'm going to turn it back to you, is with Facebook. Numerous times I have gotten a message, a notification that they've expanded my distributorship on their platform because of my high quality posts. So you'll see I post a lot on Facebook because we have a lot of people around the world who are on our team, and I want to make sure that people get the exposure that they should. So my point is, there is a process that people can follow. If you want to have a dream and you want to achieve it, you have to break it down into what are measurable actions that you can take, who can help you get to where you need to go, and how are you mentally prepared with your discipline and your solution solving to deal with what's going to happen along the way.
Absolutely. I think that you mentioned something very interesting and very important, is when somebody wants to start something, when writing a book or starting a business, most people make the mistake to talk to friends and families. But if they are in the business and successful, it's a good way. But if not, it's not a good way. So I think the most important thing is that we talk to people, or that everyone is talking to people, and get tips and support from people who are in the field where you want to be successful. That's so important. And I remember I had a mentor 30 something years ago, and he said, don't listen to the people, because when you listen to them, you have what they have, and maybe they have nothing. So find people who are in the business in the area that you want to be. They are successful, and successful people are always willing to mentor you. That's my own experience. That's what I was saying. What I do is support you. So talk to people who are in the business, not your family and friends. It's not that they don't want you to succeed. The point is, what I found out years later is when I started different businesses. Some businesses have really been crazy. My dad said, "What can you do?" Anyway, I found out it's not, they're negative because they just want to prevent you that you fail or you went to jail or whatever it is in their mind, because you are their son or their whatever. Yeah. That's my strong advice is find the right people, go to a community or join a network, and then you have like-minded people, but again, successful people. There are some networks where you find a lot of talkers too. That's not where you go to. Find the people, the doers who are doing, and ask them what they do, and then just copy it and then go for it. Of course, go for it. Move your ass out of the sofa and go for it. But ask them for advice. Ask what's their way, what they suggested is working right now, not 20 years ago. Right now, with all the tools that we have right now, with all the technology, ask them, and then go for it. Go for it.
Thank you, Roland. Go for it. Absolutely. I have a couple of comments that I want to just make about the comments you shared. So if you think about, if you have an iPhone, for example, if you think about how the iPhone has changed over all of time. So if you're an initial iPhone user when the first iPhone came out and the phone's working for you, that's terrific. There have been all these evolution of new features that you can have, like with an old car. My car right now is 7 years old. I have a Mercedes. And when I took it into the dealership, they give you a brand new Mercedes as a loaner. And you see, wow, look at all this stuff I'm missing. But you make a decision. What is the latest and greatest that's going on with your industry, your product, your clients that you need to look into so you can adopt? Do you still need that 7-year-old Mercedes, or do you need to upgrade for some specific reason? I don't see a reason to upgrade because the car gets me from point A to point B. It's paid off, and that's what's important to me. This computer, I think it's important to invest in current technology because we're a broadcasting platform. So if you have old technology, then maybe you're missing out on something that it would be really important to have for your clients, for your guests, etc. And then the other thing I want to share is when you mentioned about family, what I think can happen sometimes is you can share your dream, your vision with your significant other, your spouse, your friends, your colleagues, and they start thinking about how what you're going to do is going to impact them. Oh, he's not going to be around very much because now he's doing a business. What about me? What am I going to be doing while he's doing that? Oh, now he's traveling. Oh, now he's spending some of our savings. And so it's a lot of times it can be fear-based, and it can also be selfish, whether people realize it or not. So when you have the plan, you have talked to the successful people, you have figured out your mission, your vision, your business plan, etc., then you have that confidence to alleviate another person's fear and doubt trying to bring you down so that you don't take the step forward. That's my thought.
Absolutely. So that's what I do is, and it was a learning for me too. When you have a business idea, you talk to your friends and family and blah blah, and then you get this negative wave is coming. Oh my gosh, what I heard. But what I learned is what I do is when I have a new business idea, I talk to people who are successful in the business. I don't talk to friends. I don't talk to family. Nobody. And when my business is on the road, meaning it's starting, it's working, then I talk to everyone I know because I want to sell my services and products. But in the beginning, I only talk to people who are successful in the business, starting my own stuff, whatever it is, writing a book or starting a business, whatever. And I only talk to my friends and family when the business is on its way. And then I said, okay, I shared it with you. Maybe you want to buy something or support me. But in the process itself, before my business is alive, I don't talk to friends and family because I don't want them to bring me down. I just talk to people who support me, who are, as I said, who are successful. That's so important to get positive energy, because some people, you mentioned something, Dr. Jacalyn, and I found it out many, many times when I started a new business. In the beginning, they want to protect you. Don't do something wrong. Then they say, oh, it's working, and then they are against you. I said, yeah, they're mostly against you. That's what my experience was, because they're jealous or whatever. And then when you're successful, they come back and said, Roland, I always knew that you're going to be successful. I was thinking, you bloody fucking bastard. You have been so against me. You called all my friends. If Roland is calling you, don't pick up the phone. He wants to try to sell you something. I learned a lot about my so-called friends when I started businesses. I always cleaned my my inner circle with every business. But I guess it's part of the game. Because the point is, when you do something, it's a mirror for your friends and family. And they think, well, I could do the same, but I'm too silly, I'm too lazy, I'm too whatever. I don't want to take a responsibility. And we always give a mirror to other people. And that's what we should keep in mind. And so, yeah, be with you. Yeah. Don't talk too much. Just do. And surprise them.
For sure. And I want to mention two people, and there might be a lot of hate based on what I'm going to share because people make judgments. Tom Cruise, to me, is unbelievable. The things that he accomplishes, the dreams that he has that he puts into action, and people will say, oh, well, he's into Scientology. Well, I'm not talking about Scientology. I'm talking about a human hanging off of a plane, a human on a motorbike dropping down. I forget how many times they had to do that for the last movie. And I've watched a number of his clips about the back scene of making the movie. He's in the movie industry 30 years, and he really is curious. And I think the new movie, Ghost Protocol. No, it's not Ghost Protocol. I forget what it's called. But anyway, he now goes underwater and has to hold his breath for. I mean, the guy does things that are literally off the hook, and he doesn't have to do any of them. He doesn't have to do another movie for as long as he lives. But that to me is just so interesting, that a person who has accomplished so much does some things that would be so risky, but he gets all the background information. He does his research. He makes sure he's surrounded by the right people. Like for the one movie where he's holding onto the side of the plane, he had to talk to, I think, NASA and the airline industry, and they had to put something on the side of the wing. I mean, the amount of things that went into it, but the amount of research and the detail, that to me is really exciting. And that's why I love going to see his movies, because I know he's still alive because the movie's already made, I see, but I think that's amazing. And the other person I want to bring up, and I know there's going to be a lot of hate about this, is the president, Donald Trump. Whether you like his politics or you don't like his politics, whether what he's doing now is going to work eventually, I don't know. I don't have the answers. But before he became president for the second time, he had the deck stacked against him in every single possible way. And I thought to myself, why do you want this so much at your age with all that you've already accomplished? Why are you putting yourself through all of this? And one by one, everything that was against him slowly started to turn the other way. And I thought, this is incredible, because he never gave up. So again, I'm not saying anything about his politics or tariffs or world relations. I'm just saying about persistence paying off, and he made his dream come true. So if those two people have all those things against them, Tom Cruise could die in any of those movies at any moment or be incapacitated, but yet they keep going because they surround themselves with the right people, but they have that inner drive. Can you talk about what that inner drive is? Is it a voice? Is it something we're born with? What is that motivation and determination that some people seem to have a passion for certain things and others not so much?
I have a so-called inner calling that says, Roland, there's more in for you. So I'm born in a small family, lower middle class, and I did not accept that this would be my life. I didn't accept it. I said, why should I? Why should I? And I had this inner calling. There's something much bigger, much larger for me out there. I want to live differently. I want to travel. I want to do this, and do that. And I said, why not? And what helped me when there was no, there was no internet, there was no YouTube channels, nothing, no so-called influencers. I was reading books. I was always reading books about successful people and about their story, how they started. And this really encouraged me and motivated me. And I always had this inner calling. Always. I cannot explain it. It's sometimes, when I'm alone, I do self-talks. I talk to myself. I do self-talk. I guess successful people are a little bit crazy. Most people say I'm crazy. I talk to myself. Yeah. Sometimes I think I have two personalities in me, and we communicate. I push myself. Absolutely. Yeah. I have this inner voice, and sometimes I believe I have two personalities inside me.
Exactly. There's nothing, I don't think there's anything strange about that. I talk to myself all the time. I was just at the gym over the weekend, and this woman was having an entire conversation with herself in the locker room. I guess because she was alone, and then I happened to come up to use the locker, and she's like, "Oh, I'm really sorry. I said, "Please, I talk to myself all the time. Go enjoy, because you want to run ideas by yourself. You want to bounce them off. And I think once you say it out loud, you get some more clarity as to whether or not it's something that you truly want to fully commit to."
Absolutely. I mean, all the people have self-talks to themselves, but mostly it's negative stuff. But I have this too, to be honest. But I can get very, very fast rid of it. I acknowledge this and push it away. But I have a lot of positive stuff in my head. So my two Rolands, they're communicating. Whenever the small said, I can do it, the other one said, why not? Why the fuck not? Just move your ass, try it out. So I really have this conversation, and the other one is encouraging the other one when it's more in a negative and a more pessimistic way. And sometimes it's really crazy. Sometimes I sit there and I listen to them talk, and I said, fuck, hopefully nobody else can hear this.
Well, whatever you're doing is working. So if you could bottle it and give it to others, it's working.
As I said, it's of course sometimes I have self-doubts, I have anxieties. Yeah, I have it too. But then the other Roland said, "What a bullshit! Try it out." There's always two things: is there death penalty or a lifetime sentence? No. Okay, go for it. What can happen? What can be worse? Go for it. So this source conversation, like the devil and the angel, but it's just the one Roland who is more looking for security, and the other Roland is more on adventure and risk.
Yes.
Yeah.
I can relate to that completely. And wow, our show has just flown by again. So it's time to sign off. What would you like to leave our audience with, Roland, in terms of people connecting with you, or maybe a message that you want to leave for the end of the show?
The message I want to leave is, whatever you're dreaming of, go for it. Go for it. It will work. Go for it. And if you're too scared and too overwhelmed, find a mentor like myself or others. I'm more than happy if you want to contact me, that help you through the first steps, just to get started. It's all about getting started. Once you're in the process, it's fine, but just to get started. If you need support mentoring, just contact me, send me an email at office@roland-friedl.com. But go for it. Go for it. Life is too beautiful. Go for it. There's so many opportunities out there. I can only say from my perspective, and many, many other people out there, go for it. Whatever it is, writing a book, singing a song, performing on a stage, starting a business, whatever it is, running a marathon or climbing the Mount Everest, whatever it is, go for it. Don't dream it. Go for it. Life is too short just to dream. Here's a contact form if you want to use my contact form on my website. It's also available in English, German and English, or send me directly an email. Thank you so much for listening. Thanks, Dr. Jacalyn, for all the effort you're doing here on USA Global TV Radio. And I'm so excited to meet you in person in Vienna.
I am too. I'm super excited. Thank you, Roland. Thanks for two beautiful shows. We'll see you again soon. Bye.
Bye.
All right, we're going over to Talking Heads with Dr. Madeline Chan. So please do stay tuned for that. And let's hear a quick word from our sponsors. Take a look.
In a world craving connection, one platform dared to dream bigger. USA Global TV and Radio, a beacon for global voices, authentic storytelling, and elevated listening. Led by visionary Dr. Jacalyn-Kerbeck, the journey from a spark to a global force is now captured in one inspiring book. Honored with YouTube's Silver Creator Award for surpassing 100,000 subscribers. Discover the evolution, the challenges, the triumphs, and the unstoppable spirit that created a global movement. Executive producer Dr. Jacalyn-Kerbeck, music score by Yeffy Tang, creative director Paul Garcia. This video and its contents are the exclusive property of USA Global TV and Radio. Unauthorized use, duplication, or redistribution in any form is strictly prohibited. Now an Amazon #1 new release in paperback and ebook. Broadcasting Brilliance, the evolution of USA Global TV and Radio, is inspiring readers around the world. Join the movement that's redefining global media one story at a time.